动脑思考权证投资，怎么突然就肚子饿？
先搅杯珍珠奶茶吧。
说起吃的喝的，我最懂。
懂吃也就懂投资哦。股票配权证就像奶茶加珍珠，黄金搭配，获利加倍。
权证怎么配？用吃来体会。
人人都能懂的投资秘诀。
股票配权证，获利加速器，
喂饱你的口袋。快搜寻权证赢家。
权证为高杠杆投资商品，有机会在短期间获得极高报酬或蒙受权利金的损失。购买前请先了解相关风险及详阅公开说明书。
Alright, hello guys, welcome to Taipei Banter, where John and Gavin uncover the interesting trends and issues around the world. Hello, Gavin.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks, my man. It's good to see you again this week. And in this episode, what are we talking about?
I don't know, John. What are you going to talk about?
I want to talk about the fact that scientists have finally figured out how to upload knowledge to your brain, like the Matrix.
Really? Wow. Ooh, I can see. I mean, wow. I don't have to study anymore.
So my favorite scene from the Matrix was when Neo, he got, plugged into the Matrix.
Yeah.
And he was trained.
Yeah. To do what?
When there was a scene where he was trained to learn Kung Fu and all the fighting techniques.
Okay.
And then he woke up from the Matrix and he said, I know Kung Fu.
Oh.
That was like, I did that all the time. I was like, like when I wake up and I know I don't want to go to school.
Wow.
It worked. Realization, I woke up like, oh man, I don't want to go to school. Okay, so I know Kung Fu. That was my favorite in Matrix.
I just remembered. There was another idea. A similar thing was with Sylvester Stallone. Again, a movie with Wesley Snipes played the bad guy.
And Demolition Man.
Yeah, and Sylvester woke up with the ability, I can knit.
Yes, exactly. So while they were frozen, the story was while they were frozen, they were somehow stimulated or injected with some knowledge. So once they were defrosted, they actually learned the knowledge. So he was surprised. He was actually a cop. He was actually a police. And then all of a sudden, he could subconsciously start knitting.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Imagine that. But I think that would be great. I mean, let's go. I don't mind knitting. I would love to learn how to sew. I just don't have the patience.
Oh,
stop.
I don't think eyesight sewing either. No, buddy, it's okay.
Okay,
good.
Yes,
buddy, I don't think you would have the eyesight for sewing anyways.
I can wear reading glasses or magnifying glasses or something.
You need a microscope.
But it would be good. Now, there is a useful skill that I think we should all be taught. Little things like how to sew, basic knowledge that we all need, how to sew on a button.
So, buddy, I think this is an article where we can sort of daydream and like what's going to happen in the future, right?
Well, my first question would be to you, John, what would you choose? If I said, you can download whatever, what would you choose to download to your big...
I know Kung Fu! No, actually, buddy, I think I would have to go with music. Like Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, their dance moves, their musical talent on the guitar, on the cello, on the violin, on, all sorts of musical instruments. I've never had that talent. I would want that downloaded in my brain and I can compose cool music. I can be a rock star. And,
You still need talent.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe that's like an upgraded thing that you download. You download skills,
then you download the talent.
You download talent.
I don't know. I would just go for basic things like, maybe how to be able to write an app or create an app. Video editing, there's something I would like to know.
Software engineering skills.
Yeah, maybe something like a basic app design. I would want to be able to do that. Or maybe drawing skills. There's a skill I would like. And I would never be an artist. I could never be Da Vinci. But I would be able to draw a little man consistently. And, little things like being able to draw an apple.
I have one for you, buddy.
What?
You go to elementary school every day. You sit and you get plugged in onto a machine. And they teach you everything about life, about basic life. Elementary school, right?
Yeah.
And... you sort of reduce the amount of hours you're in school because in 30 seconds, depending on how fast your Wi-Fi is or your LAN is, right? You're like, you're done. And you call your mom and you're like, Mom, I'm home. What did you learn? Kung Fu, Jiu-Jitsu and, this and that. Like, oh, that's very nice. 5 martial arts today. Nice.
And if you're in the third world with your 50CK LAN, what did you learn today? How to to peel a potato.
Yes.
Next, tomorrow we can learn how to boil an egg.
Part 1 of how to kick your legs.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think ideally, if you're off the grid, you probably get a downloaded package, like a CD or a memory SD card or something. Put that in and just download it at home. Why would you need to go to school?
Okay, buddy, you mentioned a very interesting term. Once you become off the grid, right? Off the grid, what does that mean? Like offline?
Offline, yeah. Offline.
Are you offline? You're totally offline.
Yeah, off the grid is actually totally disconnected with life. Well, you could do that as well. Off the grid meaning living in the forest, having solar energy and having your own rainwater. Semi off the grid. But even if you are living in that sort of life, if this technology is there, we still use technology. I mean, for me, the thing that drives me mad is people talk about the past. Wouldn't it be great to live 500 years ago? Life was simpler. Really? You get a toothache 200 years ago and see what happened and see how much you love living in the past. No, thank you. I like medicine. I like the fact that in 200 years, it'll be less painful. It'll be more comprehensive. People go, wow, your teeth fell out? No problem. Like, quite cheaply to replace.
Go to 7-Eleven and order yourself one.
Yeah, new teeth. And then you'll plug them there and it'll grow into your mouth and there'll be... No,
it'll be like the current day, the subscription model for glasses.
Yeah.
You pay a subscription model and then every month they send you like cool new glasses to wear.
Yeah.
Having your prescription or contacts or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the way teeth and everything
just imagine,
else is gonna work.
Your organ, like, I'm having some stomach ache. We'll need to replace that sucker. And like, do you pay your subscription? Yeah. Okay, I'll see you next week. We'll just 10 minutes later, you walk out of hospital, you've replaced a major organ. That's where I want to be. I think the past is great for living maybe a quieter, slower life. But as soon as it comes to medical care, no thank you. In those days, a scratch could kill you. You could get a scratch, you could get infected,
a spider bite could kill you.
Almost anything could kill you. That's why they had what was their average lifespan? Something like 30. Yeah, I know in the Roman times it was something like under 20. It was 21 was the average lifespan of the Romans.
If you're 21, you're like the big shot. You're
no,
that
was 21 was the average lifespan. If you wanted to become an adult, you had to be 25 in Roman time. So most people didn't even get to...
You're like a grandpa when you're 25.
If you were 30, you were like, whoa.
You're like the village master, right?
Yeah, no. Some people grew to 60, but the average lifespan for the Romans was 21. So no, thank you. I like the present.
Okay, so buddy, this is how it works, how the scientists have developed it. Okay, so what they did was they developed a simulator that feeds the information directly into a person's brain. Wow. And this
how do they program the brain?
Okay, so I'm gonna, let me continue to fill you up on this.
Okay.
So what they did was they actually studied the electric signals in the brain of a trained pilot. Okay, they studied that and then copied that data and fed that data into another person, while they were learning to pilot, so to see if they could acquire the, driving the skill.
The skill, downloading it, basically.
Yes. And they found out they were able to make the learning process faster.
So basically, if I download that process from you as you're learning a skill, I download it and I save it on
you save that data
on my the data on my disk.
Yes.
I then take that disk and I plug it into myself, and my brain can
device somehow go back and feeds it into you.
Yeah.
While you are getting trained to do that skill.
So it's not like you just stay at home and. Well, that's the dream, right?
Well, this is very much still in its infant stages.
Yeah.
This is like step 1 for any research. Yeah. But they found out it's probable. This is doable.
Wow.
So while you're learning a skill, they can amplify that data or feed it back to you, okay? And allow you to learn faster.
Wow. Well, that would be helpful.
That's step 1. That's not like downloading it.
No, but I mean, still, think about the advantages. So instead of
making it more efficient.
Yeah. To learn how to fly a plane takes 6 months. Now you could do it in 2 weeks. Let's be reasonable. Probably in the modern world,
if you
3
have
months,
strong enough Wi-Fi, then it's 2
Yeah.
If you live in the third world again,
maybe
that could be 6 years.
Maybe 6 years. So not worth
it. Could be backwards.
Yeah.
Right.
So interesting.
So the doctor who heads this research he says our system is one of the first of its kind. It's a brain stimulation system. So it copies the stimulation and it stimulates you. So it's a two-way system. All right. And he says, although it sounds kind of like sci-fi, but there's large scientific basis for this development of their system. So I reckon this is probably put to some sort of reuse.
Of course, of course.
Pilots, right? Drone pilots. All right. So what they did was they downloaded, from the pilot, the cognitive and the motory skills. So that was the data in the brain that they downloaded, and then they get, it gets fed back to some, newbie pilot, to get trained, right? So that's fantastic. So my journey will be your journey.
Okay, well, be interesting to see how that progresses in time. Tell me, John, where did you find this article?
Oh, this is an article I found from The Telegraph, UK-based, under, the technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do they think, how long do they figure before this is a practical reality where we can be useful to the normal person?
They didn't say.
Okay, so no idea. So maybe 20 years.
I don't think they're allowed to say it, especially with secret research.
I think the military are quite happy to sponsor.
They can't exactly tell, the public that they have cloned the sheep way before, what's it, Dory or Doris?
Dolly. I actually saw it.
Dolly the sheep came along.
Dolly the sheep is in a museum in Edinburgh in Scotland. In the museum, you see a glass case, and in that glass case is a sheep. And they say, this is Dolly the sheep. They had her stuffed, and there she is. You can see her in the Edinburgh Museum in Scotland.
Okay.
Dolly the sheep.
Dolly the sheep.
First cloned animal that we know of.
Yes. God knows how many failed ones they've actually buried under the Pentagon.
Bury the chicken, yeah.
Right. So buddy, let's look at some of the words uploading knowledge into your brain.
Yeah.
Okay. Or feeding information directly into a person, right? Okay.
Must be huge words.
Yeah. Actually, they didn't.
Oh, really?
They used very simple words. I think nobody would understand if they used fancy scientific.
It's very nice of them. I'm pretty dumb. I need all the help I can.
Go ahead.
It's our friend Rumi. Rumi. And now, saying
Rumi?
of the day is the guy I spoke about. Same guy.
The guy who's very profound.
The profound mystic gentleman from Afghanistan many centuries ago.
Okay.
And his saying was basically, gratitude is the wine for the soul. Go on, get drunk.
Gratitude is the wine for the soul. And go on,
get drunk.
Get drunk. Get drunk on life. Wow.
Get drunk on being grateful for what you got.
Okay.
So I think all of us we just forget until we land in a worse situation. Then we've been happy 3 years ago because things were pretty good then.
Well, things are pretty good now.
Yeah, they are pretty good now. So we should be grateful.
Guys, if you have some comments about feeding information directly to your brain, you're welcome to write to us or comment in our blog at www.15mins.today. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Bye.